welcome to this LSS training and induction video.
We are here to detail some of the responsibilities and activities that you yourself will have to do on a day-to-day basis.
Yes. So come with us on a journey of mystic wonder, where you will learn about the most valuable of lessons, health and safety.
May I take this ridiculous tash off now?
No.
Operating near car parks can actually be quite dangerous, especially on event days. You've got to make the assumption that people could or are actually under the influence of alcohol. So make sure you wear a high vis and be aware of the cars around your location because... What are you doing? Just get out of the way. Carry a radio so that you can contact other staff members, drink plenty of water and wear sunscreen. At the end of your shift, hand all that equipment in. Alright? You're an idiot, mate.
There will be periods of time where you're having to work alone. It's really important to be aware of your surroundings and maybe even take a personal attack alarm with you. Just like in the car park, you should be wearing a high vis and have a radio to hand.
Mate, where are you? I'm trying to get hold of you for ages.
I'm really busy. What do you want?
I'm kind of hungry. Can I get a sandwich or something? Rob! Oh, yeah. Anyway, so litter picking. Another job you could do on your own, so make sure you got the old high vis on, you take your radio. We're going to be using these litter pickers. You've got the handy hoops with the bin bags. Remember, clear bin bags for recycling, black bin bags for general waste. You do need to wear gloves at all times. If you do come across any kind of sharp objects like needles, broken glass, make sure you use the litter picker and put it inside the sharps tin. Rob, seriously, the chicken sandwich, man. I'm really hungry. I'm really hungry.
Birds. Is that really necessary? Look, can you not just... Alright. Birds can make a right mess. This might look like overkill, but dealing with bird droppings is as dangerous as dealing with human bodily fluids. At least make sure you're wearing your gloves, your mask and your goggles, but you can go as far as wearing a full suit. Mate, look what I'm wearing, yeah? You don't want to be eating that around me right now. Okay, so once you've got your PPE on, then you can either attack the bird droppings with a pressure hose or with a bottle of warm water and a scraper. In this instance, we're going to spray the droppings until they're soaked through, allow it to soak in, then scrape them off the floor and put them in a heavy-duty bin liner, also getting rid of your disposable PPE as well.
Now, when it comes to chewing gum at a venue, you must remember the most important thing. That chewing gum has probably been in somebody's disgusting, filthy mouth. Exhibit A. Alright? Now, what you've got to remember is to wear personal protective equipment. Things like gloves and the face mask are essential. If you want to wear the onesie, you go for it. The most easiest way to remove chewing gum is to use the chewing gum removal. Spray it on, which freezes it, and then you can just pop it off with one of these scrapers, or you can use a blunt knife or even a screwdriver. Once it's come off, you just need to put that chewing gum in the general waste. Under no circumstances should you ever touch it with your bare skin or even put it in your mouth. I don't even know where to go with that.
I found that.
Yeah, two 40-litre bins. Now, this is the most common form of bin that we do use at a venue. They come in green and they come in black. Green is for mixed recycling, black is for general waste. When you are going to empty these bins, make sure you tie off the bin bag. You can either pull it out yourself, but make sure your arms are bent. Don't try and do it at a straight angle because you will put your back out. Or what you can do is tie the bin off, very gently pull the bin over to its side and slide the bag out. You must be aware though that it is quite likely that a load of bin juice is going to come out, and it's either going to go all over your shoes, all over the floor. So either do it back of house somewhere or onto grass, and make sure you're stood to the side of it. If you're going to stack the bins up, all you need to do is take the wheels off, stack them up to about 6 high and put all the wheels in the top. Don't go any more than that because it'll become really hard for you to control them, especially when you're moving through crowds.
The most glamorous of jobs, waste collection. These bad boys are 1100 litre bins. They come in black, like this one, which is for general waste, and green, which is for recycling. Now you always must have 2 people to move these guys around. One person at the front to steer and one person at the back to make sure you have complete control. When you're happy with the position of the bin, hit the brake, lock it off. When you're going through crowds, you must be going very, very slowly. These, when they're full, are really, really heavy, and it's like being hit by a car. Let's go.
So, washroom cleaning. Now, what?
I'm taking a leak here.
I've got a job to do. It's alright, I'll wait.
What? No, just cut, yeah? Just cut.
When it comes to washroom cleaning, the most important thing to remember is your PPE, or personal protective equipment. First thing to always put on is gloves. They are the first line of defense against bacteria. If you really want to, in some cases you can wear the face mask, which can stop particles from being breathed in. Now remember, when you are in the washrooms, we use the colour coding system of blue on what we call the clean areas, so things like sinks and taps, and then red on what we call the dirty areas, so things like urinals and the bathrooms, the toilets. This goes the same for the mops, which is red for dirty areas, blue for clean areas. Always remember to start in the clean areas first and then work your way to the red areas. Now, when it comes to washing the clean areas, as I said earlier, this is when we're going to be using the blue materials. So you've got the blue J-cloth, the blue microfiber, and then also the multi-purpose, which comes in the blue spray bottle. Now, to use this J-cloth, what you're doing is you're cleaning the areas like around the sinks, you're using down the sides. Remember to use the chemical quite sparingly. You don't need to empty the whole bottle just to clean one tiny area. Make sure that you get all the drip marks away. You can clean all the areas around here, and also make sure that you're wiping down the soap dispensers. Now these microfibers, lovely little bit of equipment here. What this is used for is the chrome, so you don't need to use any chemicals when you're using these. All you need to do is just polish off the little end of it there and around the edge, back around the other side, push the button, and Bob's your uncle, nice and shiny. Don't ever get these wet because they then become impossible to use. Remember, the blue J-cloths we wash, so you don't need to throw these away. So, cleaning the toilets and the urinals. This is when we're going to move on to the red equipment that we talked about earlier. So you've got the red J-cloth, the red mop. We're going to be using the Act Original toilet cleaner, which is used for stainless steel and removing limescale. You've got to use this sparingly. You don't need to empty the whole bottle into one toilet. It is an irritant, so again, you must make sure that you're wearing the gloves. Also, when you are cleaning toilets and urinals, I would consider wearing a face mask because it stops the bacteria from being breathed in. Clean the toilets first. Once you finish cleaning the toilets, you can use the toilet brushes. Then you use the mop and mop your way out of the area. It's the same with the urinals. Clean the urinals first and then mop your way away from them. Now, to show you, we're going to go into the bathroom and boogly, 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 boo. What's wrong with you? How long have you been in there for? You're an amateur, man. Amateur.
No, I'm sorry, sir. No, yeah, I'll take this more seriously. Right, damp mopping. So, as Chris said, we can either use a blue mop or a red mop. I'm in the bathroom, so I'll be using a red mop because this is a dirty area as opposed to a clean area. When you are mopping, make sure you use as little water and chemicals as possible. And before you start, put out a wet floor sign or a caution work sign where people can see it. It's really important. So when you're mopping, straight back and have a figure of 8 movement and mop yourself out of the bathroom. There are a significant amount of slips, trips and falls recorded each and every year, which can and do result in many minor and some serious injuries to both staff and customers. It's very important to familiarise yourself with the type of flooring across your venue. Areas such as kitchens are high risk due to food debris and grease. So do whatever you can to reduce danger in all these areas by wearing the correct footwear and putting out signs like these. Oh, and uneven cracked floors must be reported to management as soon as possible. All right?
The two-step ladder. Now, in the rare instances that you're going to use this ladder, there's just a couple of things that you need to remember. Firstly, when you put the ladder down, make sure you've got enough room in which that you can maneuver. Make sure that that ladder is then locked out so that it is safe to climb. When you are moving up and down the ladder, you must always have 3 points of contact. So either 2 hands and 1 foot or 2 feet and 1 hand. When you're at the top, you do not need to overstretch for anything, because if you do, there's a good chance you're going to fall off and hurt yourself. Did you hear me there, Rob? All you need to do is just climb down. Once you're at the bottom, move the ladder a little bit closer and then climb up it again. But same rules apply with those 3 points of contact. And I swear, Rob, if you touch my cake, you're going to be so dead. Needle sticks and sharps is a very real threat while working at venues like these. It is quite likely that you will come into contact with them at some point. The most common places to find things like needles are behind boxes like these, behind toilets, but also you can find them in the bins. So remember, when you are emptying bins, just assume that they are full of needles and sharp objects. The most important thing for you to remember is do not touch those sharp objects. They will cut you, yo. You can use things like the litter picker. But if you don't have a litter picker, you can use a rigger glove. A rigger glove is nice and thick and will create a good solid barrier between you and that sharp object. Always try and pick it up from the non-dangerous end and then put it in the sharps tin, which can be located around the site, usually in the storerooms.
Why?
I'm training, mate.
Yeah, and I'm vacuuming, mate.
I'm training about vacuuming. Woo, woo, woo. Okay, so vacuuming. Now, swoosh. Vacuuming. Before you use the vacuum, make sure you always inspect the equipment first. Have a look at the plug, see if there's any kind of burn marks on it. Pull the wire out in its entirety and look for any kind of nip. You can take the motor off, have a look at the filter, change the bag and put the motor back on. When you are using it, you can think about putting the wire over your shoulder to make sure it's elevated and easy to see it. If you're vacuuming for long periods of time, stop, stretch your back out every now and again, and then carry on. course, when you are finished, as always, put the vacuum back in good working order. Welcome to the end of the video where we've saved the best till last. We're going to be talking about bodily fluids because working in the events industry, it's very likely that you're going to come into contact.
That's so good.
You're going to come into contact with them. Mainly we're talking about vomit here. Now the most important thing to remember when you're dealing with vomit or any kind of bodily fluid is the PPE again. We've got lots of different types of PPE and you can't wear too much of it. So, I mean really, you deserve that. We can use this as a demonstration though. So the PPE, we've got things like gloves, we've got the full jumpsuits, we've got aprons, we've got face masks and we've got goggles. As a minimum, you absolutely must wear the gloves, the aprons and the face mask. The face masks come in handy because when you do clean bodily fluids, it does vaporize and so there is a good chance for you to inhale it. You're an embarrassment, I hope you know that. Now the spill kits that we use come in many different shapes and sizes. For example, this one here is a one-time use. It's got everything inside it that you need. Now, once you've got your PPE on, and remember, if you do have any open wounds on your arms, you must cover them with both bandages, and then I would also wear the jumpsuits as well. Once you're ready, you've got to grab the granules. Now the granules come in either big jars, big tubs, or you've got the one-time packet use. All you need to do is sprinkle those granules over the vomit, and give it a couple of minutes for it to absorb the liquid. After those couple of minutes, what you can then do is take a little pan. You can either use the pan and broom, but it must be the one-time use pan and broom that you find with the kit, or you can use a pan and broom that we use elsewhere around the venue. But remember, it must only ever be used for bodily fluids. So you take the pan, you can take a scrubber or a broom, just scrape it into that pan, and then once you're ready, you just need to deposit everything into the yellow biohazard bags. All bodily fluids go into biohazard. And that's not just the bodily fluids, that's also the equipment that you've used as well. So the gloves, the face mask and the apron, they're all one-time use things. We've got plenty of them, so don't worry about that. Come on. Honestly, you're really getting on my nerves now.
I don't feel very well.
I don't care. So put everything in the biohazard bag that you've used, including all items of PPE, and dispose of it in the chemical waste bins, which are normally yellow or orange and can be found somewhere near the medical tent in most venues. All you need to do then is disinfect the area that you've cleaned. You can use the disinfectant spray, which is either a small one like in this case, or you can get the big spray bottles in other venues. You also need to make sure that you disinfect your own hands because obviously you have been coming into contact with bodily fluids. Make sure you clean yourself, and then you can also dry yourself off with the towels which can be found in loads of different locations. Okay? Come on you, let's get you a glass of water.